Hello, good evening.
Hello, Joe. How are you? And everybody.
Good, how are you doing?
Good, good.
I should change my background. This is a ski meeting.
Yeah.
I've got a great, where's my snowy background? Huh, it's gone. How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Good, good.
Super duper.
Good, thank you. Mine says Joshua Reynolds, but it's really Sophie Simmer.
Okay.
It's her brother.
Got it. I love it. We got people on early. We'll just wait for people to hop on here. Never know what kind of turnout you're going to have, doing a virtual meeting like this. It's such a weird year.
Hi, everyone. I was just wondering, my son is Isaac. He's an 8th grader. And I know that we just received the email from Charlie about the middle schoolers not being able to participate. But I just wanted to hop on early to ask, is there any way that we could still rent skis so that the kids have the opportunity to still be active? Because he'll be in high school next year and he's been on the team since 6th grade.
That's a great question. I don't think we have Charlie on yet, but we can definitely get him that message, or I could suggest that you send him a message on Remind.
I sent it to
It's
him.
a great question.
Okay.
I've got a 7th grader who's really disappointed as well, so I totally appreciate that. We're actually going to sign Sam, my 7th grader, up for the MYSL Ski Works program that he did last year.
What is it called
And
again?
MYSL, Minnesota Youth Ski League.
Okay.
They meet up at Elm Creek, and they do a good job, and they have rentals and coaches who go through training. They have a race series. It's a pretty good program. So that could be something to look into as well.
There's quite a few middle schoolers that, and I ski too, so we live near Elm Creek, so they would totally be up for training all winter in preparation for next year. I just don't want it to be the lag that ends the interest, and so I'm trying to figure out some ways to keep him engaged. So
I totally agree. And let's, my name's Joe Kais, and we'll get to this, but I'm the new president of the Booster Club. And like I said, I've got a middle schooler who's in the same boat. So please feel free to reach out to me. I also ski a lot. I would love to get kids together, and totally agree. I don't want them to lose a season. I don't want them to lose interest or a year of practice. So I'd definitely be happy to be part of getting kids together too.
yeah, and I would too. I would take them out. I love to go out all the time in Elm Creek. So great. I'll check out the MYSL, and then maybe if Charlie has some insight about, I know ski swaps are coming up in the next 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to figure out if I have to buy skis or not. So
Yeah. MYSL, like I said, they do have a good, their equipment is really top notch if you rent from them. It's a lot more expensive than the school. I think it's $75 a pair, but it's really good equipment, and it does include boots.
it does or does not?
It does include boots.
Oh, it does. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a really good price then. Okay.
So that's definitely something to look into. So, feel free to listen in. Otherwise, please do reach out to me and reach out to Charlie on that question too.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. We'll give people a little while longer. It's 7 now. We're getting a good list here. That's fantastic. Cindy Poston, who is our secretary for the Booster Club, is helping me keep track of who's on, so we can make sure that we follow up with you, and also make sure we follow up with people who weren't able to be on, so we can record this virtual meeting and send it out. And also, as we're going through, I know it's a little difficult sometimes to chime in with questions. So please feel free to use the chat feature here and chat, out to the group or to Cindy or me or anyone, and we'll make sure we get those questions answered before we get to the end here. I am going to share our document that we're going to be going over here. All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, we can.
Awesome.
Did Charlie join yet?
Charlie's on, fantastic.
Oh, good. There he is.
And we are recording, that's good. We'll maybe just give it a couple more minutes. Again, want to make sure we get as many people as we can. We have 29 people on so far. Sounds like we have snow in the forecast. I was just picked Tyler, my son Tyler, for those of you who don't know, he is a sophomore. He's at captain's practice, and he said they were all looking at the forecast for the next couple of days, and predicting that we might get anywhere between 2 and 6 inches over the next couple of days, now that it's really winter time instead of that fake stuff we had early in October.
Well, I heard there's a winter storm watch. I don't know if that's changed, but
Yeah. Bring it on. Yeah, that's a little better. My face was super bright. I'll turn an extra light on. All right, we're still at 29. It's 7:03. I think maybe we should go ahead and get started. Does that sound good, Charlie?
Yep, might as well get her going now since we're recording it.
Awesome. So what I was going to do, just because it's a little different having a meeting in a Zoom environment, I want to make sure everyone knows what's coming and stays engaged. So I was going to just go through what the meeting would look like if it were going to be a 90-second meeting. So I'm sure you'll have lots of questions, and Charlie's going to go through our whole normal document that you would see as a handout, but I'm going to give you the bullets, and then I'm going to turn it over to Charlie, who's going to go through in detail. So for some reason, my format is screwed up. Bear with me one second here. First things first, the really good news, obviously we're planning on a ski season, which was, has been in question, as everything is in question this year. First practice is November 30th. As most of you know, captain's practice has already begun. If your student is not participating, we'll talk about the remind to get them involved and get them involved in captain's practice right away. Obviously, most of us know this, but reminder, one of the key takeaways, you have to log into the website and get your skier registered. One of the things to get out of the way, that's good news. We have a ski season, captain's practice has begun, but we do have some, unfortunate changes with COVID. And one is that we're not going to have any overnight trips this year. And Charlie can talk more about that, but let's just kind of get that out of the way. Just happy to be having a season, but it will have some changes. So an email went out. Thanks, Charlie, for sending that out. Another note was, that we're not going to be able to have middle schoolers. And I know people are going to be disappointed by that, and I am as well. I've got a 7th grader who was excited to ski, but, just happy that our AD and coaches could figure out how to give us a season safely, and that's going to come at the cost of not having middle schoolers. So Charlie can talk more to that when we get there. Also, you know, we're not going to be able to do traditional fundraisers this year. Obviously, we've had the pasta fundraiser and bagging groceries at Cub, and we're just not going to be able to do those things in the environment that we're in right now. So I'll talk more about this later, but we are going to be asking for everyone to give a $50 donation to the Booster Club to help us support the skiers. We'll talk more about that coming up. Also want to make sure everyone signs up for Remind. We have a captain's Remind, we have a parent's Remind, and then we have a Remind from Coach that both parents and skiers should sign up. More details to come on that if you haven't seen it on Remind. Fundraisers, we'll get into this, but we've got all kinds of good stuff to try to get creative in this year. We're going to start with an apparel fundraiser starting tonight, which I'll get into more details on. We've got a Chipotle night, Amazon Smile, and we've got letters that you can send out to try to request donations. So we'll talk more about fundraisers. And then finally, hey, it's almost ski season. So we're really excited to kick things off. And, you know, with that kind of breezing overview, I'm going to turn it over to Coach Charlie, who's going to walk us through the meeting and lead us for the rest of the evening. Charlie, you're up.
All right. Can you hear me?
We got you. We can hear you and see you.
All right.
Hey, Charlie,
So-
before you go too far, is this document something that will be sent out to all of us parents in an email, or is there a place that we can get this document, or should we be writing some things down as you're talking?
We will make this available. I think we can send out as an email, and we can also put it out on the team website. We're also going to put this, hopefully, a link to this meeting tonight out on the team website as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So it all should be, it will all be available.
Yep.
So I did see a question about pasta parties. We'll get to that down the road here, but we'll start out. Welcome everybody for coming tonight. Definitely not the way we wanted to meet. It's always better to see in person, but you know, as circumstances have it, we cannot. As of right now, as I said, we are planning to have a ski season. First practice should be starting on November 30th. Until I hear differently from the powers that be, plan for that start date. Captain's practice has been going on. If any skiers want to join, they still can. We do have a remind for that. So the captains I know they haven't been going 5 days a week. They've been doing, I think, 3 days a week. Is there any captain on that can confirm that? Like Atlee? You know, do we know any captain? All right, we'll let that go.
I think they have moved to 5 days a week, though.
They have? Okay.
Yeah.
So they do send out reminds on when they're going to meet, where they're going to meet, and what time they're going to meet. So captain's practice is going on. So if you can get on their remind, that would be a great thing to do. As for practices, once we start, we will be practicing pretty much Monday through Friday, depending on what we're doing. I don't know how many Saturdays we'll have this year. I mean, with COVID and everything. I mean, I know when it comes down to COVID this year, we are not going to have the ABC relay this year. There's going to be no Mazabi East invite this year. And we're still up in the air what it's going to be like for the conference and for sections. And as they're saying right now, there's no plan to have a state meet as like the rest of the fall sports. So practices again will, for the most part, be after school, depending if we're still in the hybrid learning We'll work out a more of a start time. I mean, at this point, at this point in time, we're planning to start after a normal high school release time. So if they get out at 2:20, we could say probably planning on starting around 2:45, 3 o'clock, give or take, and go from there. That'll be getting a practice. It will be dry. If there's no skiable snow, we will be on dry land training like we do every year. A lot of running, strength, endurance workouts that we'll be doing at the school. With COVID this year, we are going to try to minimize meeting indoors if at all possible. So our normal meeting place where we meet by the ski room doors probably is not going to happen this year. We're probably going to have a meeting to a point outside, possibly at the park across the street, to get out there and get our workouts in. Once the school, once we do get skiable snow, we're still waiting to hear from Three Rivers on how the schedule is going to work at Three Rivers. It sounds like they're not going to allow students into the main chalet at Elm Creek for practices. So pretty much we have our bus as a shelter, and if you have to go to the bathroom, I think the bathrooms will be open, but they want to literally minimize bodies in buildings. I believe Theater Worth this year is changing their policy on restricting on when skiers can be there, no skiers in the building, et cetera, et cetera. So there's still a lot of gray area on where we're going to be able to ski this year. Hopefully, if there is a lot of snow, like hopefully knock on wood, we get some snow tomorrow, that other trails will be open to go skiing. For example, last year we went to Greenhaven Golf Course that we were able to ski and possibly ski at Bunker or French or Eagle Lake, any place where there's real snow, not man-made snow. We're going to try to go there and get our practices in the best we can. I have to say though, this year with COVID, the practice schedule really is going to be up in the air on when, where, why we can do things. It's just going to be really play by the ear this year for sure. But like I said, the positive is we're planning on having a ski season. There's still word that we're going to have a ski season. So we're just going to keep chucking away. And as soon as I hear information about it, I will send it out on the remind. I will send out a message on the team website. The boosters will have emails that hopefully they'll also be sending stuff out. I'd rather send out too much information than not enough information. So it's going to be message information overload. Hopefully, every time I hear something, I'm going to try to get you stuff sent out right away. If we go down the list there, we can see the remind. There's the
Hey,
remind.
Charlie?
Yep.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. There's just a couple of questions regarding the practice in the chat. I thought maybe we could address them now while we're still talking about practice. Someone asked or I don't know if you can read the chat, or do you want me to read them?
Yeah, please read them.
He said, someone asked, is there a way to get students to practice for working parents during distant learning or for non-driving skiers?
That's a good question. If we're at the school, there's going to be no buses. We are planning on having buses, if we can, to practices. But as of getting to the school for practice and stuff, unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do. They'd have to find a way to get to school. But we're going to try to do our best to have a bus to practices. There could be, we're talking with possible students who are driving to practice to be able to drive to practice at Elm Creek or Worth. But the goal is hopefully to have a bus if needed. So, but as of right now, get to school, practice, they have to find a way to get to school for buses if we're doing virtual learning.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers that question.
And
Was there another one?
Yep, there's the next one was some of us live more than 30 minutes from school, so could practice start later if they're still in the hybrid model?
We are going to try to keep the practice to the best we can and on a set time frame. Right now, this is our practice schedule. It could change based off what we're working with. But we do want practice to begin at a reasonable time. I don't know what time cross country started this year, but we're gonna try to keep it to the
It
closest.
started at 3:30.
Okay. So we'll have to see. We'll see what we can do about getting practice times and talk with the coaches and see what we can get working. But the sooner we can probably get practices going. We do have daylight hours to work with too.
Yeah, Charlie, during dry land, we only have so much time before it gets dark.
Yep, and that's exactly it. We only have so much time before it gets dark, and I prefer not to go later if we don't have to.
Some of the kids
Oh.
might not be able to sign up then because they're not allowed at the school and they can't leave classes early to get to practice.
Yeah, exactly.
So they wouldn't be able to sign up for Nordic.
What do you
Right.
mean by that? Because class is over for high schoolers at 2:20.
2:20 and we live 30 minutes away from the school.
Okay.
I guess we could drive to Elm Creek if that's where you're practicing. Things like that need to be considered.
Yeah, and that's probably what we're gonna have to do this year. So people who are driving will have to drive to Elm Creek if they can. That makes sense. I mean, that's what we're working on too, is possibly, we want to try to limit exposure to everybody in groups. So driving is going to be probably an option this year for people who can drive. Okay. Was there any more questions?
Well, those are just the questions that related to practice.
Practice.
There's another question regarding ski rental. I don't know if you want to address that now or when you get to the ski.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay.
All right, we'll just hold that question.
So if you have up on the screen, we do have the remind codes. I'm scrolling away now, Joe. We have the remind codes from me as coaches. So at the end of practices, we can say practice is done. We're leaving here. This is also, I know I have the coaches one out on the team website with at CPHS Nordic. And then we got the remind for captains for the captains on the, yep. So anytime you just send a text at that number and you'll be able to get it. And then we have the booster. That is a new remind for this year. So boosters can send out reminds too. As of right, okay, so moving down, the ski schedule is as clear as muddy water right now. We are working with Three Rivers and all the other teams, as this year's meet is going to be different. We are only allowed to have 3 teams per meet, and we're working on doing a teams are going to be doing 2 meets in one day at Elm Creek. So 3 teams go at one time, possibly another 3 teams go at another time. It is an ugly mess right now that we're working with Three Rivers. So hopefully we can get scheduled meet in. We may have a meet one week, and then we may not have a meet another week, just based off if we're able to get numbers in there. So meets are that eventually, once we get everything down, the meets will be out on that website, that northwestsuburbanconference.org. That, I believe that link is also out on our team website. So once that gets posted, I'll let people know that this is our meet schedule. This is where it's going to be. We are working. We always ask for parent volunteers. We usually have asked parents to help out at the start line, at the finish line, and we have another one of the issues that we're having with COVID, with the new COVID guidelines, is they only coaches and skiers are allowed at the start and the finish line this year. They want to keep all parents away from the kids as they're getting ready to ski, getting ready to race, and after finishing. And their goal is to get these kids, once they're done with racing, get their clothes on them and get them out of the start and finish area. Parents, if you come to the meets, they really want parents to be spread out. They don't want a lot of congregation. If you have to walk down, not on the ski trail, but down off the side, down the ski trail somewhere else out on the course, they recommend you doing that this year. But they really do not. They don't want any parents into the start area or the finish area of ski meets this year. So that is going to be a change, and it's going to require a lot of work on us coaches and the student athletes to work together, but we'll get this done. But I think for volunteering, I don't know what more we can add to the volunteering with parents, but if something comes up, we're going to have a sign up genius, Janice, to hopefully we'll be able to help stuff. I mean, even during practice, maybe have a parent helping guide athletes to where we're going to meet or something like that. But we'll see what we can do to try to keep parents involved to the best of our ability. But we're going to go as we can go. So next is high school registration.
Hold, Charlie. Sorry to interrupt again. I have a question. There's a question in the chat regarding the meets.
Uh-huh.
What does it mean that only three teams per meet? How many skiers is that? Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that would look like?
So the high school league rules have said there's only going to be, they can only have 3 teams at a single meet. So it could be Champlin Park, Anoka, Maple Grove. Those are the 3 teams. And in that 3 teams at a given start line, you can only have a pot of 25 skiers. So you can have 25 boys, we can race. And then when the girls race, 25 girls, you can race. But it's only going to be limited to 3 teams only during a meet. So like normally we've had 6 teams because we have such a bigger conference. This year it's broken down. For this year, we can only have up to 3 teams at a single meet. That clarify things up a little? Like I said, it's going to be different this year for sure. All right, high school registration now. I just found out today that the school district has made the decision that to register, they will open up registration a week before the start of the ski season. So if we are going on November 30th, they were going to open up Monday the 23rd. So November 20, I believe that's Monday the 23rd. That is when they'll be opening registration to sign up for skiing. So, and until then, the registration is closed until November 23rd. If you are new to athletics, you need to have the forms filled out. One of the big key to being new to athletics is you have to have a physical on file. So that's one of the key things I want to let student athletes know, that they have to have a physical on file at the high school. I believe that I think you'd be able to call and say, got to get my physical turned in. If the first time, what do I need to do? You'll be able to bring it in, drop that physical off so they have it on file, or fax it in or email it in, whatever we can do to get that to the high school. But you need to have the forms filled out, a up-to-date physical that lasts for 3 years. So a senior, if this is your if you only ski or don't do any activity but skiing and you're a senior this year, you might want to check if your physical's up to date. But if you've done a fall sport and your physical's up to date and you got one, you should be good to go. So every year we do get season passes for skiing at Three Rivers and Theater Worth this year. The fees, it looks like, is still going to be the same for Theater Worth as it was last year. It was $50 for a season pass at Theater Worth. So, and our Three Rivers pass last year and should be this year will be paid for by the school. And this year for rentals, if you are looking to first year skier or returning skier and you're looking to rent ski equipment this year, it will cost $35 for each package. It's 35 for classic, 35 for skate. So if you have your own classic skis, classic poles, or classic skis, classic skate, and you only need one pair, but still, so it's $35 for a rental package for classic skis and classic poles.
So there's a question, Charlie, sorry to interrupt, about middle schoolers being able to rent skis even though they aren't able to ski with the team. Is that a possibility and a way to bring in money into the program?
With the school equipment, the school does not want us to rent out or get the skis out to middle school skiers unless they're a part of the team, unfortunately, for this year. As much as I want to say, yeah, I want to rent them out, but we really can't do that. We really can't do that. So, sorry we have to say that, but we really can't. I know that was one of the questions that came out earlier.
Coach, I mentioned this earlier when one of the parents asked, but I referenced MYSL Ski Works program as a good program that middle school parents may want to consider. That's what my 7th grader is going to be doing. Tyler, who's a sophomore now, did it through his 8th grade year. They have good coaches. They have rentals. It's a good program. So definitely look into that. It's MYSL, Minnesota Youth Ski League, as an alternative.
And we can get that posted out there too. So let people know. So,
and then can you explain the difference between the ski packages? We have somebody that's new to the program and they just want to understand which.
Oh, yep. Sorry. For the ski team, we have 2 types of discipline. We have classic or traditional skating that we do. And then we have skate skiing, which is more, I want to say, I always tell people, it kind of reminds you of rollerblading. We do both classic skiing and we do both classic and skate skiing. So we do have 2 sets of skier will get 2 sets of skis. Classic ski, like I said, more of a traditional where you put one foot in front of the other, scooching across the kitchen floor as a kid. And skate ski is more like rollerblading. We do both ski techniques throughout the season and for races. And hopefully if there is a conference and a section champion, then we do where we race both classic one race and skate the next race on the same day. That sound like a good, I guess, that a good description? Okay. Ski boots. This year, we have completely redid our bindings this year for our skis. The high school no longer has boots that will fit our skis. And for first year skiers, it's a small purchase. It's a purchase that has to be made is to have skiers buy combi boots. The combi boots that they can buy will fit both classic and skate skis. The bindings we used to have were SNS bindings. We are no longer using them, and it sounds like after this year they are completely discontinuing these bindings. Period. So if you go to any of the main ski shops, that you go to, you will be getting. You can tell them you're from Champlin Park and you're looking for ski boots, and they should know that we want boots that will fit NNN Pro Length bindings. So we always say NNN is no, but it's good. It's yes. For boots.
Hey, Charlie.
Yes, Ian.
So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ian Ivins. This is my dad, Kevin Ivins, one of the coaches. I'm an alumni of Champlin Park, and I work at Pioneer Midwest, one of the local ski shops in Osseo. So I definitely recommend all you guys go there. But we have a quick example of the difference between NNN and SNS. So just kind of show you here. SNS, it's pretty easy to tell. There's these two metal pins there. That's SNS. That's not, we don't want that. We want NNN, which is more common. It's got that one pin there and kind of like two grooves down here. That's what NNN looks like. And then again, SNS has like kind of one space down the middle, 2 bars. So, and again, like I said, you know, if you come to Pioneer for sure, we know that you guys use NNN and we'll be able to recommend that for sure. So yeah, just wanted to chime in there.
Thank you, Ian. And then Ian's going to give a quick talk about Pioneer Midwest too. So keep that in mind that ski boots need to be purchased for the ski season. But we do not have boots to rent this year. We are done with that because our boots do not fit our skis anymore. Another required equipment that we want kids to have is a ski bag. For the most part, the skis, we have thousands of dollars worth of equipment of skis, and we need to protect these skis to last for as long as we possibly can. And the best way to protect our skis is we want them to get a ski bag. Pioneer Midwest sells ski bags, ski straps, they're ski ties, we call them. We have, if you get those, they're great. I know we have a little supply of them at school. We can only have so many. So that's an option that we want. When you get the ski bag, we want you to put your name, Champlin Park High School, not CPHS, because there's other school that has CP, and a phone number. When you tell people when they get a bag, do not put your nickname. Like if your nickname is Pickle, don't put Pickle on the bag because coaches are not going to know what your nickname are. And if somebody finds your ski bag and they call and say, hey, we found a bag with Pickle on it. Well, we don't know who Pickle is. So please get, and if you get a ski bag, make sure you put your full name on there, in your Champlin Park name and a phone number. We have yet to have skis that have walked away we've never had skis that walked away. They've always come back because of a name and a phone number. So it's always key to make sure you have your name, school, phone number, because even without the phone number, if your name and your school's on there, I usually get a call and say, we found a pair of Champlin Park skis here in a ski bag, and we always get it back to the player. So that's always key, is put your name on everything. And as coaches, we always put labels on the skis with your name on them, so that if for some reason a school gets set aside somewhere, somebody mistakenly grabs them, their name's on it, they know it, we get it back. Another equipment, I guess you could say, is proper clothing. All skiers need to wear proper clothing while we're out there. First year skiers, it's hard to know unless you've been out there skiing, to understand at times when you're standing outside, it could be 35 degrees, and if the wind is blowing, it feels like it's 10 degrees. Always be prepared for all weather. We are outside. We'll be out, especially this year, we'll be outside majority of the time. You need to understand that we layer clothing, wind pants, a light jacket, a wind jacket, for example, the long underwear, long under tops. We always tell people not to wear cotton clothing. Example would be cotton is rotten, because cotton, it absorbs the sweat and the moisture does not go away. And when it's cold out, you're sweating, you want the moisture to get wicked away and evaporate away and get away from your body. Good ski hats. We recommend having like 2 ski hats, one hat for practice, one hat for after practice, because as you're skiing, you get warm, your hat gets soaking wet, and putting on a dry hat helps you to stay comfortable and also helps prevent getting sick, which we definitely don't want to happen this year. For example, another thing too is Costco does sell clothing. Call it Costco. It's called 32 Degrees. It's a base layers, and for the most part, it's relatively inexpensive. You don't have to go to Costco. I know a lot of places do sell it. Sell the wicking, like the 100% polyester wicking shirts, like Under Armour, Nike. They always sell this base layer stuff. You always want to have a base layer that's usually a tighter fitting to the body. That what it does is it draws the moisture out, and then like the next layer would be kind of like a polyurethane, like thinner polyurethane for beginner skiers that keeps you warmer. And then the last layer would be the wind layer to help keep the wind from going through your jacket. But we always tell everybody you have to be prepared. Become amateur meteorologists. Look at the weather daily so that you can dress properly for the ski season. So there's a lot of information we're taking in on that, but we always tell you, I always dress for the weather. All right, so when it comes down to ski equipment, I know we have first year skiers. This year, I know we are not going to be doing a Pioneer Midwest team night, and that would be where we'd go in there as the Pioneer Midwest would set a day for us after practice where we can all go there as a team, and they'll cater to us, which we're not gonna do that this year because of the COVID. But you can go into Pioneer Midwest at any time during whenever you need to, and they will treat you like it's a team night, give you the high school discount. And Ian, when we get there, we can talk about it too. So as a first year skier, in general, we recommend for a first year skier, just get the ski boots because it's one of the things that you do need, but we'll have the equipment to help you set up so they have at least a good experience as their first year skier. And the investment would be minimal. If they don't like it, we can find a way. Somebody will definitely buy the boots for next year, or somebody would purchase them because they maybe grew out of their boots. As kids get older, if they're in their second year, we recommend that they start getting their own equipment. For example, a 10th grader, we'd probably want them to purchase skate skis and skate poles because they have more of a range, where as you get a little taller, they should make you through the rest of you should be able to make it through the rest of your, up to your senior. Skate poles, they're longer than classic poles. Skate poles, and if they grow, we can say skate poles, they can become your classic poles as a kid gets taller because we can cut down the poles as they get taller. Usually then if you're into skiing, you really like it, once you get to 11th grade, then we'd probably look at you to probably start getting your own classic skis. The Performer Trains Classic is narrower compared to skate ski. Like I said, as coaches, if you have purchased skate equipment, we can cut the poles down for your classic poles if you grew taller, etc., so that your skate poles can become your classic poles. Then you don't necessarily have to buy 2 sets of poles everywhere. So we're hoping by the time you are a senior, you maybe only need to purchase longer skate poles. So that would be our main goal. By all means, if you want to buy your equipment all equipment as a sophomore, you can do that. We're not going to stop you. It'd be great for us. Then we don't have to worry about providing skis, and you have your own equipment that will fit you perfectly. And hope that will be what we're totally looking for. So when it comes down to purchasing skis, one of the main areas that we go to, there are 3 main shops that you can go to look to get ski equipment. For most part, we go to Pioneer Midwest. Pioneer Midwest that we have is pretty much in our backyard. It's closest to us. It's right in Osseo there, right off Highway 81. And as you saw, we have Kevin's son, Ian, who works there. And Ian, at this time, would you be willing to just talk about Pioneer Midwest, discounts, being an athlete, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. I can do that. Thanks, Charlie. So kind of like I said, this is Kevin Ivins, the assistant coach. Ian Ivins, I was an alumni of Champlin Park, graduated in 2017. I started skiing at the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and I'm now kind of doing online learning there while working at Pioneer, basically full time. They've roped me into a lot of hours there, but it's been good. It's been fun so far. So Pioneer Midwest, basically everyone that works there, knows what they're talking about. So you come in, you have any questions, brand new parents, we get them all the time from pretty much everybody. Every team in our conference comes to Pioneer. So we have new parents all the time, know nothing. They just want questions and we can answer them, try to help you out the best we can. And then everybody, since you're on like the high school team, the whole family gets 10% off of everything in the store, just to help out a little bit. So, parents, if you're looking into be able to go out on the weekends and ski with your kids, you can definitely do that. Right now, probably my biggest advice is to come in early. As soon as you kind of know you need something, I would come in. It's we're getting really busy already. We had the busiest October that Pioneer's ever had this last month. So we have a lot of skis, we have a lot of boots and stuff still, but we're getting we think people are really going to be coming in. So I would recommend coming in soon. If you need equipment, coming in and get that. So
especially with your boots, to make sure you get the right size.
Yeah. Make sure we have a lot of sizes in those combi boots. We have like 10 pairs in each size. But all the other teams are going to be coming here to get those same boots as you are. So it's definitely something that's kind of my biggest thing, is to try to come in as soon as you need equipment or you want to be on the team, come in, get your boots. But if you're looking to save a little bit of money on like used equipment, we have our ski swap on the 21st and 22nd. Traditionally, you just show up, the earlier you show up, the better spot in line you get. And that's what's happening. This year, it's a lot different. We are doing a sign up on our website online. So that is on November 12th. So it's this coming Thursday at noon. There is a sign up to get a reserve an hour time slot. And that's the only time you can come in is at your time slot. So there's going to be a lot of people gunning for that first hour, because that's when every deal is available. So if you're just, you just want to get something, you're not trying to get the best, I'd maybe recommend signing up for a little bit of a later time slot. And this sale is kind of going to be in our garage area. I know some of you probably haven't been back there, but we have 3 big garages that'll all be open. So there's going to be a lot of airflow in there, and hopefully we're only limiting it to like 15 people every half hour. So hopefully there won't be too many people packed in there. That's kind of our goal with this. With that, make sure if you want to come, you got to sign up on November 12th at noon. That's when it opens. Hopefully our website doesn't crash. If it does, please don't get angry. There might be a lot of people on there. So, it's the 21st and 22nd. If you have old stuff you're looking to trade in, we definitely can. We're taking that right now, so you can get in-store credit or a check for that. So in-store credit, we take 5% of it. For a check, we take 15% of whatever you sell. So that's a good way to kind of, especially like if you buy new stuff this year and then next year you're looking to upgrade, you can kind of sell your old stuff at the swap, because this is like a yearly thing. So it's a great option for a lot of people, but I'll definitely be working there. So if you're super overwhelmed, you can try and find me and I can try to help out. So let's see what else can I move on to.
Going to talk about skis a little bit?
Yeah, so skis. For classic, kind of a newer thing. I don't know if everybody knows about. If you're looking to buy skis, for most of you, I recommend what's called a skin ski. So I can kind of show here. We got a big ski here. That's the skin that we're talking about. It's got a mole hair skin, kind of synthetic skin. That's what we're recommending for most high school kids. They just work great, especially with kind of this whole environment. I know you guys aren't going to be waxing all together like usual. It might be hard to show, or my dad or Charlie to show you how to apply kick wax. With this, you just put your skis on and go have fun, enjoy classic skiing. Because I know a lot of people, they're slipping and their technique isn't ideal, or dialed in yet. So they have a terrible time classicing and they just want to skate all the time. So these skins are really helping people enjoy classic more, and it's easier way to just get out. Skate skis, nothing too different there. If you're looking to get a new pair, we have a whole bunch of them. So we got some kind of closeout stuff from last year. We're running lower on that. So that's another thing. We have some stuff from last year, boots and skis. So if you want to come in sooner rather than later to try and kind of grab some of those deals. Not too much there, but a little bit. Yeah, and then.
And
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. There's a question regarding having a skier fitted for new skis. Do you need to make an appointment for that at Pioneer?
No appointment is needed. I will say Saturdays and Sundays are busy, very busy. There's kind of a lot of people in there. So if you want to get help, if you come in, we just kind of will say hi and let you know we're going to be with you as soon as we can. But if you really want to get a lot of attention and kind of take your time, I definitely recommend, if you can do it weekdays during the day, almost no one in there. So that's a really, really good time to come in so we can go slowly through it with you. During the weeknight, it starts to get a little bit busier once parents get off work and stuff, which I understand if you have work, you can't come in during the day. But
especially if you're a better skier and want some, and I'm saying better skier, meaning like all conference and faster, that you need a higher end ski, that you want, one of the more expert people they have to fit that ski, that's probably when you want to come in.
Yeah. So, so no appointment needed to kind of answer the question again. You can let us know when you're coming in, and that's great. We'll be happy to see you then, but no appointment is needed. But again, weekend's super busy. So, we can move on to our wax.
Yeah, I'll have Ian talk, since with the COVID restrictions this year, we won't be able to wax at school because our wax room is so tight, and we're not going to have a bunch of kids standing around doing that. So we have some recommendations for waxing this year to keep it simple. And with the ban on the World Cup starting next year, you won't be able to use florals. So on the high school, we won't be able to use florals at all this year. And these are some options that are pretty inexpensive and easy to use, and Ian will go through them.
Yeah. So for the most part, for practice and races, you guys are on, man-made snow a lot of the time, or fresh snow. So these kind of they make a liquid wax now. So some of you may know, some of you might not know, but some of you may know that there's like wax that you need an iron and a bench and all this stuff for. But now they kind of make these liquid waxes. I can show these two options that you either spray on, which is these two here, or there's a smaller bottle, which is a little bit easier to apply with just a little foam applicator there. I definitely recommend these liquid waxes. It's a lot easier to apply. So again, it was Rex G21 and G41. Those are the two. This one, the 41 is more for man-made snow. It's kind of a pink and green, man-made snow in colder temperatures. The G21 is pretty much universal. It works for a lot of temperatures. So you can either do this bigger bottle or the smaller one with the applicator. This one's definitely easier to apply, this small option. So basically with that, it's really simple. There's directions on the bottle as well, but you spray it on. You want to leave it on from anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And then after that, you need one brush. So kind of a white bristled brush. You can kind of see that there. So it's nylon. And you brush it out, and then boom, you're good to go. And that's really all you need to do to wax to maintain your skis. For newer skiers, or newer parents, this is just a way to keep your skis gliding fast and kind of protect them from stuff on the trail like scratches and stuff. Yes, so that's a great question from Dan. So the spray wax bottle lasts for a long time. So I think the bottle here is $40. The smaller applicator is $20-ish, $20, $21. Both of those, the smaller one will last you a very long time. You really only need to wax your skis probably a couple times a week. And then it should last you for probably a couple months.
At least last a season.
One of these guys, one of the bigger ones, should last about the whole season for $40. So definitely a good option, and you won't need to be buying this every week or things like that. So thank you for that question. That was really good. I don't have an exact amount of kilometers that it lasts or anything like that, but
Around 20.
roughly, 20 to 30. The longer you leave it on, the better, the more durable it is. So that's nice. But so those two waxes, that Rex 21 and G41 with the brush, and then something that's super, super important and helps keep your skis in good shape and clean is this Rex Glide Cleaner. If you can kind of see that, that's what it looks like. So after each time, or before you wax, every time, you want to use this Glide Cleaner with just like something like a shop towel, kind of paper towel type of thing. You want to clean your skis before you wax them. So doing that gets rid of all the dirt, all the kind of debris that kind of you pick up in your skis as you're going, and then you want to use the wax on top of that to get them ready to go for the next time. So.
And man-made snow is very, very dirty.
Yep. So.
And dirt slows your skis down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the basics. What we're kind of hoping every family to get, or every skier to get, is this Rex Glide Cleaner, the Rex G21, and a white brush. Those three items should be pretty good. Those three items should be pretty good for most people. And then another question here from Dan: should the better skiers stay with the hard wax or use the spray wax? If you want to do the hard wax, you can. Definitely not necessary. Racing at Green Bay the last few years, we used the spray wax almost every race. There's not a huge benefit besides long durability. So the hard wax that you iron in, that'll last you that 50K Berkey that this guy and Charlie are doing. But for you guys, 5K races, this liquid wax is more than enough. So that works great. So much easier to apply, safer because there's no fumes, stuff like that. You're not breathing that in. So I definitely just overall recommend the liquid waxes. If you have the hard wax already and want to use it, go for it. It's not gonna harm you or kind of give you a benefit either. So.
And one thing the hard waxes they're finding out too is every time you put the hard wax in, you heat up your base. And then you have to scrape it. And it's just the scraping the ski changes the structure of the ski.
Yep.
With the liquid waxes, you're never scraping the ski and the structure of the ski doesn't change.
Yeah.
So they stay in better shape longer only using the liquid waxes.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel on wax there. I didn't talk about Steve's one. So yeah, I think that's just about it for me. Again, if you're looking to get new stuff this year, come in early because we're kind of, starting to roll here, starting to get busier. So I think that's pretty much it for me. So thanks for listening, guys. I know it's kind of a long spiel, especially about the wax, that some of you might not even understand what the wax is. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call in the Pioneer if you don't want to come in, or stop by and let us know. So.
Thank you, Ian. Really appreciate it.
Charlie, just a clarification. In the past, we have wax as a team, which we talked about is not going to be possible with, with COVID, getting everyone in the wax room. So Ian mentioned getting these spray waxes and a brush, and that's something that, parents are going to have to be responsible for this year since we can't get together. So just want to clarify that, or if you're telling me something different, but make sure that people know that when you go in and you get skis or boots or whatever you need, that you guys are asking parents to get that spray wax and the brush, correct, and the cleaner.
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of something that I'll know to recommend that to a lot of the high school parents, but some of our other employees might not have, we'll try to remind everybody, but some of the newer employees might not remember that as much. I might forget for sure, but that's something that I know there's a big list of things, and it's hard because you want to make sure you're getting everything. But even if you're renting skis from the school, we still want you to get this wax because you have to take care of the skis, so that once you're done with them, other people get the skis in a good condition. You know, we want to keep these going, and we don't want to make the school keep buying equipment every year, stuff like that. So definitely a good option. So again, that Rex G21, the glide cleaner, and a white brush. And if you say you come into Pioneer and you're like, yeah, they recommended like 3 things, we should know what you're talking about. So yeah. And then yeah, any other questions about any of that, you know, feel free to ask right now, and I'll just read them and chime in, or feel free to call into Pioneer Midwest and anyone should be able to help. I know Kyle Ostendorf recently just started working here, so if you want to come in and say hi to Kyle or whatever, you know, definitely. So, all right, I think that's good for me. I'll stop talking.
Oh, thank you, Ian. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of stuff to take in. As you see, there are others. So now that we're done with the kind of that equipment thing, there are other ski swaps out there. I don't know I don't personally know about the Gear West and the Minnesota Youth Ski League swap. The links there that we have on the page should take you there with more information on it. I believe they're kind of running the same way, so keep that in mind.
I'm pretty sure MYSL is the same thing. They have they have a sign up for you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know much about the Gear West one, so I think you have to check out that information on Facebook. So another thing you can kind of look out to is one of the websites, like we call it the local news for skiing, is skinnyski.com. They do have a classified section in there, and if people do post equipment there, they usually are pretty good at listing, you know, this is John, I ski, I have classic skis I'm going to sell. I'm 5'8", I weigh 100, and these skis are rated around 125 pounds. So they kind of do list the weight of what the skier is and what they were, et cetera, et cetera. So you can check there if they have anything, you can check it out. So, but just be mindful that what you're getting from the classifieds. You know, we can't guarantee you what their conditions are and what they'll be like. So just keep that in mind if you're going to check out the local classified and Skinny Ski. So, but like the ski swaps are, you know, like the Pioneer Midwest is a very good ski swap if you can get there. Okay.
All right, Charlie, I want to just kind of plug one more thing with Pioneer. On our website there, pioneermidwest.com, we do have ski packages that you can take a look at if you're just kind of like, oh, I want to get one set of equipment, or something like you want to get a skate ski package or a classic skin ski package. And that's pretty easy to just kind of look through there, and you can either come in and get that, or if you don't want to come into the store, we can ship to people. Just another thing I wanted to kind of mention, that you can take a look at those packages if you're trying to get an idea of what equipment I might need. So there you go. Last thing, sorry.
No, it's all good. So I did see a question earlier about having pasta dinners this year, right? And with the team, we are very highly discouraging having the team pasta dinners this year. It's just coming down to being safety, with COVID and everything. We just want to keep everyone safe, and what the best way to do it is having the no contact or very, very low contact. So I did see that about I just saw the pasta dinners, but we are not going to do that. We recommend that we do not do pasta dinners, team pasta dinners this year, because we want to keep everyone safe. So there's a lot of stuff that we went through here. I know there's probably going to be some more questions. I know right now we're down to like the booster club area on my list of things, I believe.
Well, someone did ask if we could have a pasta Zoom meeting.
Well, if you want to have a pasta, you know, the captains want to set up a pasta Zoom meeting, hey, have at it. Everybody have their plate of spaghetti in front of a computer. That'd be perfect for a pasta dinner. So Joe, if you want to talk about the booster club, and we can go to that. I believe that's what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Hey, one thing that the booster board, we were just chatting amongst, if you're looking on camera, you might have noticed I was distracted. We're strategizing. So as a booster club, we did have a couple $1,000 allocated for wax for the year. So we're going to get together and work out the plans, but we want to make sure one of the things that we do as a booster club is make sure we have all the tools that the students and the coaches need to have a good season, to have a good experience, and we make this affordable and accessible. So we're going to come up with a plan, more details to come, to help get some of that liquid wax and brushes to those students who need it. So more to come on that, but I don't want people to look at that and think, gosh, it's getting really expensive. I've got to go get this and get that. So more details to come, but we do have some money, and we're going to come up with a plan to make sure that we can help out. And for those who don't have it, don't have a brush, don't have any liquid wax, or don't have, the solid wax and want to put that on, we'll come up with a plan to help you guys get that wax. So more to come on that. That is a good transition here. That came in from, I don't know why my format keeps changing here, but came in from Secretary Cindy, Treasurer Kim, and Vice President Cami were all kind of messaging me saying, hey, this is all stuff that parents have to buy. We've got money in the budget as a booster club. So thank you guys for chiming in with that. That's a great idea. And that also serves kind of as my introduction. Those of you who are not new here know Cami, Kim, and Cindy from the board last year. Last year's president was Susie Scheller, whose son Mark was an average skier last year and graduated. I'm just kidding. He was a superstar skier, long time for the program who graduated. And Cindy was a part of the booster club for, gosh, I think she said 12 or 14 years. I mean, a long, long time. So she's certainly missed. I'm going to try to step in and do my best to fill her shoes, but happy to have the coaches, Cami and Kim, helping me out. So I'm going to go through this really quickly because I know that these meetings get long, and we're going to send this out. I'll send out the recording and send out this document so that everyone's got it. But first of all, what we do as a booster club is fundraising to support our coaches and skiers. Again, we want to make sure that they have everything they need to make the sport accessible, to make them love it, to make them be successful, and make them lifetime skiers. So we're going to do everything we can to get to that end. You can see here the link for our blog spot, which I just found out a couple nights ago that I think Dan Schreiner is going to help us update that. So thank you very much for the help with that, Dan. We really appreciate that. We'll also have, as we talked about earlier, the remind that we'll be sending out the reminds from the Booster Club as well. So we will send out and we'll post on the website a Booster Club registration worksheet. We really want you to register for that. Number one, that's where you're going to sign up to rent equipment and tell us what you need and all the details on your skier. You're going to give us information on volunteering and registering. So we really need to get that information so that we can get the season rolling with knowing how much rental equipment we need, how many volunteers we have. Charlie said it's going to be a little different year, so we want everyone to volunteer definitely, but we've got to get an inventory of people to figure out how we can get and keep everyone engaged. So team apparel, we have a new vendor this year where everything is going to be done online. Historically, we have collected money through the treasurer, and then we've handed out stuff. So we have a new a vendor called Innovative Graphics who I think is going to do a really great job for us. I know that Osseo Nordic uses them, Maple Grove Nordic uses them. They've been super responsive. I'm going to go over this a little more at the end, but we're going to do 2 apparel sales. The first one is going to be open for just a week, and it's not Nordic specific equipment. So it's going to be a gaiter, a couple of hats, and a scarf. And that is going to be one of our big fundraisers, which we'll get to in a second here. But we really want to push this out to everyone. If there's one thing I can say, not say enough times, it's that we really want to share that information about this first. Sign up, first of all, parents, and second of all, share this information about this first apparel fundraiser. So we'll get more into that, but apparel is going to be different this year, all online. So we talked earlier about the $50 registration, which I think is actually later on, but want to say where the payments can be made. And those are to the CPHS Nordic Booster at Venmo. So last year we switched to Venmo, and we had over half of the participants just kind of getting Venmo started right before the season, jumped on Venmo, especially this year in the COVID year. We're not going to be able to it's going to be more difficult to hand checks in, et cetera. So really trying to use Venmo to make those payments online. If anyone has questions about Venmo, please let me know, or let Kim know. We can let you know. But used it last year, went great. You can use that as your receipt if you make a donation, and the money gets deposited directly in there, and we have visibility to it. When you do send a payment in, there's a note section. You can put in that note section on Venmo what the payment is for. If it was for your booster club fee for skier name, Sally Jones, let us know. Put that in there so we know who is paid and who's all set. Again, I know I'm going quickly, but I want to get through this. Please, again, send in questions to me or send them into the chat if you have them. Volunteering, Coach talked about this, won't belabor the point. We do want everyone to volunteer and participate in at least one thing throughout the year, whether that's bringing snacks or drinks or helping get things set up before. We're going to be a little hampered that we're not going to be able to have people at the start and finish line, as Charlie talked about, but we're still going to need volunteers this year, definitely. So please volunteer and ask us how you can get involved. On to fundraising, pasta dinner and silent auction, have been our hallmarks. That's where we've done the majority of our fundraising. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we're not going to be able to do those things this year due to COVID. So that, amongst other reasons, is one of the reasons that we're moving to this $50 donation at the beginning of the year for the Booster Club. So we want everyone to, again, make that donation. That will be on the form. If you do have multiple skiers, there's a discount for second. Without middle school, I don't think we have any third skiers, but that's on the registration form. So please help us out. Again, we want to make sure that we're providing everything for the skiers, but we do need funding for that. With that $50 Booster Club fee this year, we are also going to include the team T-shirts. So every year, the captains make a T-shirt. We're going to include that with the $50 Booster Club fee. As mentioned, we're also going to work on getting everyone the liquid wax and brush that they need. So again, this is going to a good cause, helping out the skiers directly. Also on fundraisers, we're going to have a team fundraiser at Chipotle on December 2nd. we'll send her out a remind with all the details on that. Cindy, thank you so much for chasing that down and just getting that confirmed today. Great work. A percentage of our proceeds of everything you buy at Chipotle go to the team. All you have to do is buy it. They did add an option now. I saw that you can purchase online or through the app with a code and still give the donation to the team, whereas in previous years you had to go in and do it in person. So that's a great option. And that's something that's not just for the team, but get everyone in the community, everyone you can find to go get dinner at Chipotle, mention Champlin Park Nordic, and give out the code that we'll send out as we get closer there to make sure that we get that donation. Amazon Smile. Hopefully you guys are familiar with Amazon Smile, but CPHS Nordic is registered under Amazon Smile. I don't have all the details on that, but you can go in and under Amazon Smile and search and find them. If anyone else has any details that we need to mention here, please chime in. But everything you buy on Amazon, if you go into Amazon Smile and designate CPHS Nordic, a portion of all those purchases goes to the Nordic team as well. Lastly, we still have a fundraising letter. We'll post that on the Blogspot website, send it out, make sure everyone has that. But people, absolutely, we're a 501c3 charity, so people can donate money. If you have relatives who'd be willing to participate, they can definitely, or support you rather, they can definitely donate money. And again, it's tax deductible. So good for them at the end of the year to get some tax write-off and support their favorite Nordic skier. So we have a letter that you can email or print out and give to them to get people to participate in that way. Important dates, we'll send these out, but we do have booster club meetings scheduled. We would love to have as many parents as we can participate in the booster club meetings. The board, really runs it. We go through the budget. We talk about plans. We get updates from coaches, and it's great to have more people participate. So the more people, the better. Not just the board. If you don't know what the booster club is, if you've never attended, that's fine. We'd just love to have you come attend and be part of the process and give us your opinion, volunteer, help, get involved. And again, if it's just the first one, if you just sit and listen in, that's great. Please do that too, to find out what's going on. Important websites, we went through these. These will be in what we hand out here. The Booster Club, again, does have a blog site, so take a look at that. Lastly, this is kicking off today and is only going to be open for a week. But we have our fundraiser store. So everyone can shop, places their own order. As I said, no one needs to collect any money. We don't need to consolidate orders. Share this link right here with everyone you possibly can. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, email, MySpace, LinkedIn, everywhere you can share it. So that's the link. So again, you pay and order on the website. One note that I want to make, in order to make sure that we're raising money that's going directly to the Nordic team and keeping things affordable, there is a $5 handling and processing charge per order. Again, that's per order, not per item. So if you order 3 or 4 items, it's $5. There's no shipping. So that $5 is just for processing and to try to keep the cost down for the Nordic program so that we can raise money. So the way that it's going to work for delivery then is all the items are going to come to me and my wife, Tammy, who's hiding in the background here. But we'll get all the items. They will be packaged in a bag. Each order will be packaged individually. So we're not going to have to handle every order. It's going to have an invoice in a bag, and we're going to set up a time. These are set to be delivered to us by the 14th of December. Why we're doing this so quickly is to try to turn them around in that month and have everything before the holidays. So we'll get the orders. We'll let everyone know via remind that the orders are in, and we'll pick a day. We might have to do, an extra time if people can't make it, and we will meet up in the Champlin Park parking lot and make, an hour and a half where people can come pick up their orders. Everything will have already been paid for, sorted, separated, etc. So again, here is the link. It's available right now. Please go on, shop. Again, share with everyone you can. I think one of the great things about this is you see these items are not Nordic specific. The goal is to get this out to everyone in the community, to get it out to all the students, to get it out to teachers. Everyone can participate in this fundraiser with some great winter apparel that is, again, not Nordic specific, just Rebels. You see the gator mask, scarf, a couple of different hats. I know the women's hat, I guess it could be any gender. I don't want to judge, but I know my wife and Cindy were very excited about this hat. So these are the items that you'll see when you log on to the store. They're $3 to $4 from each item is going to go to the Booster Club. So if we really get this out, and again, the key is really to push this out to as many people as we can. So again, I implore you to share this link with everyone you can. And I think we can really raise a lot of money and get a lot of fantastic Rebel swag out there if we really share the heck out of this thing over the next week. So with that, I will wrap up my section. I saw there were questions coming in while I was yammering on. Cindy, do we have any questions that I need to address or questions for Charlie?
No questions. I just put the link out there for Amazon Smile in the chat. People send it out too when we send out the deck or whatever.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. I should have gotten that beforehand, but I didn't. So thank you for sharing.
No worries. Yep. All good.
All right, I'm going to go back to the key points. Thank you, from the Booster Club very much. And Charlie, I'll turn it over to you for any closing and last comments.
Okay. Again, this is a lot of information to take in. First year parents, skiers, it can be very, very overwhelming that first time you hear about all the stuff that we go through, all the stuff that we use. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. I know my email address is out on the team website. That you can, it's at the bottom of the main page. So you can send me an email. This is the time of year where I start checking my email a lot more. So please do not hesitate to send me an email with more questions. And if it gets more in depth, say, hey, can you give me a call about, I have some questions, give me a call. We'll set up a time where I can give you a call too. So again, please don't hesitate to ask questions. I'd rather have you be well-informed than not informed at all. I should have also made a comment that introduce our coaches. As you saw, Kevin, with his son Ian. Kevin has been coaching with me now for quite a few years, and our other coach is Coach Bogey. Bogey is a teacher at Champlin Park, a FIAD teacher. Don't tell her gym teacher. So as of right now, we are the three coaches. The other coach there was Coach Gosha. She's now down in Eden Prairie. Yeah, so yeah, he's covering her face, so she's not with us coaching anymore. Yeah. Coach Rebecca from last year. She has a new job this year that puts her out late, and She said if there's any time she can join us, she will if she ever has the opportunity to come ski with us. And skiers, if you got to meet our captains this year on the girls' side, Atlee Schreiner, Ashla Murphy, and Caitlin Richter. If you haven't met them at a captain's practice or you have met them, don't be afraid to talk to them on the girls' side. On the boys' side, our captains are Kyle Ossendorf, Giles Koschel, and Keegan Poston. Again, these are your team leaders. If you have any questions and don't feel comfortable talking to the coaches, you can go to these captains and ask them a question. If they don't have an answer, they can come talk to us. So don't be afraid to talk to the captains. They can be your voice if you don't want to talk to the coaches for some reason or another. So don't be afraid to talk to any of those captains. I don't have a lot more else to say, but again, this is.
We have another question. Sorry to interrupt again, Charlie. Sorry.
No problem.
There's a question. When do we want the Booster Club fees paid? Is there like a due date or a timeline for that?
Booster Club president, your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's weird this year. Normally we would already have the students registered and we would be collecting right now. But I would say anytime between now and when practice starts. We definitely want that when practice starts because we are going to start incurring expenses when practice starts. So anytime before practice starts would be great. But if you want to
November 30th,
get things
right?
out of Yep, November 30th, exactly. If you want to get things out of the way, again, we're going to send out that form that we ask everyone to fill out for rentals and volunteer contact information. When you fill that form out, if you want to hop on Venmo and send your money to Venmo to the Booster Club at that time, that'd be great.
Yep.
This is kind of a different question. Just because I just came off of a fall sports season with my other daughter, do we have any protocols or anything for wearing masks, or like, for example, if the kids are on the bus, do they have to be wearing a mask, or what? Is there anything like that we need to be aware of that for this
Yes.
season?
Yes, absolutely. Good. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, we are going by, we do COVID guidelines. Pretty much masks are going to be required pretty much for the most when you possibly can. I know for in group settings, we should be wearing a mask. When we're on the bus, we have to have a mask. If we're in a building, we have to have a mask. I know once we start going and working out, a mask for running, once we start running may not be the best thing to do, but one thing that's great about a buff, you put it on your neck, you bring the buff, put it up on your face when we're talking, and we're good to go. That's what's great about skiing. Almost everybody will wear a buff nowadays that when we can stop the talk, pull the buff up. I'm going to highly recommend that that the kids wear a buff outside at practice pretty much every day, just because we can slide that up over our face once you start working out and you have, you're away from other people, you can pull it down to breathe easier. But definitely masks, buffs, something to cover your face is required, and safety is going to be everything. So yes, thank you. And there was also, I saw a comment earlier about the physical. Did somebody say they say they were waiving it for this year? Did we see that on there?
Yeah, I saw somebody wrote that the renewal for your physical is being waived.
Okay, good. Thank you. I just saw that too. So
they did it for the soccer season. The
okay.
Seniors didn't have to turn in their things because of COVID. So I'm pretty sure it's probably for the whole school year.
Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting us know that. So again, registration opens up the week before the season, so that will be November 23rd. They will not take any registration. This is not the school that's doing it. This is the school district that's making this policy. So don't leave poor Matt yelling at Mr. Matson about why can't I register, because it's a school district thing. Again, this is a lot of information to take in. Any other questions that you have, to send, if you can wait to send it to email, I'm more than willing to answer questions that route. So thanks again, everyone. I know this a lot of information and not necessarily fun when we do it via, live virtually. It's not fun. I'd rather see everybody's face in person. So thank you again. I guess we can go from there. Say we can wrap this up, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can. Great meeting. Thank you. I leave you with again all the websites here. We will get this sent out to everyone who's attending. Send out the link, send out the form, and everything that we went through, along with the Booster Club registration. And we're going to add on to that Booster Club registration if you need liquid wax and a brush, to let us know, and then we can take care of that as a Booster Club, which I'm really excited to offer. So all that will be sent out to you, posted on the website, and we'll get a remind sent out, reminding you that it's on the website as well.
Yep. And skiers and parents, if you have not signed up for the reminds specifically from me, do that as soon as you possibly can. So thank you again. Thank you again, everybody. And
Just one more thing.
safe. Oh, yep.
One more thing. Do we want to talk about the wax? I don't know, Kim, do you want to talk about the wax quick, or Joe? That we can probably cover the wax.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I think the Booster Club will be able to cover that wax. I mean, we need to, if it's 2 kinds of wax and a brush for each kid, we need to figure out how many people are going to want it and what's in our budget. If we have a couple thousand, we can cover depending on how many skiers we have and how many people need it. So I think maybe we should first put it on the form and see how many people want and need that wax. But I think it sounds like, based on the number of skiers, that we should probably be able to provide that wax for everyone, that liquid wax and a brush. But again, I want to put it on the form, make sure we understand what the need is, how many people there are. And I happen to know a guy who works at Pioneer, so we can hit him up for a good discount as a team, and see if we can help everyone out with that.
All right.
Sounds good.
Take us out, Joe.
Yeah, thanks coaches, thanks everyone. Make sure you get on Remind, do a snow dance, and hope to see you soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Joe. Have a good night, everybody.